Hi, everybody, and welcome to the October 17th, 2024 edition of the KubeStellar Community Meeting. Today, we have a good-sized agenda. We'll be talking a lot about KubeCon today, as well as some other items that are happening inside the program team. Okay, if you want to get a copy of this agenda, go to kubestellar.io/join us. You can use join us with an underscore or without to get there. We also check out our Slack channel at KubeStellar KubeStellar Dev, KubeStellar-Dev, and that's in the Kubernetes organization. We are proud members of the CNCF Sandbox project, and as such, we abide by a contributor code of conduct, and I'll read it here briefly. As contributors and maintainers in the CNCF community and in the interest of fostering an open and welcoming community, we pledge to respect all people who contribute through reporting issues, posting feature requests, updating documentation, submitting pull requests or patches, and other activities. We are committed to making participation in the CNCF community a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of level of experience, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, to personal appearance, body size, ethnicity, race, age, religion, or nationality. Basically, that just means, please, everybody, just be kind to each other. It's a good general rule. If you're on camera at this time and you don't wish to be, please turn your camera off. If your microphone's not muted and you wish not to speak, please mute it. Okay, everybody. So today we're getting closer to the end of the year. Wow. And it's going to be pretty soon. It'll be the 1st of November. Wow. All right. So please add your name to the attendee list, as most of you have already that are on this call. Let's go through our agenda. If you have any agenda items you'd like to add, please put them at the bottom of this list. So we've got a new create only bit, and we've got some items that are still lingering that need to be added. I think we have 25 release candidate 1 out now. So let's get an update on where we are on create only and any of the other items in 25. Mike, do you have anything you want to publish here in the open source community?
Yeah, well, the main thing is finishing the implementation. It was introduced in the API in 0.24.0, but we didn't finish the implementation. So we want to finish the implementation. It is now finished in the release candidate. I have another bug that I'm working on that I'd like to get into the full release, but we do have a release candidate that has that feature working. There's also a proposed for a change in the API for, I'm sorry, not really important regarding that one. Yeah, so I'll just stop there regarding that feature.
Okay, so everybody out there in the ether, please pick up 0.25 release candidate 1 if you'd like to see the create only bit in action. And it does what it says it does. It just creates an item and does not manage it beyond that. We also have some other information, some other items happening around the downsync object. So empty downsync objects are being prohibited. So apparently there's some more work that needs to be done there. And did this make it to 25, Mike?
I'm sorry, did what make it to 25?
Prohibited downsync object?
That is not yet, no. Not yet. It will be in the next release candidate.
Okay, so we're looking at it from maybe RC2?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll just add that to RC2. Okay. All right, very good. Let's move on. All right, so there's this all-in-one demo environment script that we've got lingering in our in our repo, and I've been doing some testing of it, and it's not really working the way I would have expected it to. I've gotten some other ideas about how that might operate correctly. The gist of it is that all the clusters get created, but the last step of having a CSR placed in the hub is not working consistently. So I think it's just a matter of the script. Maybe it's the order of operations, or maybe it's the way those commands are being executed. So I'm taking a closer look at it today. Hopefully I'll have something more on this later in the day today. That's it for all-in-one. Let's see. All right. We've got folks in IFOS working on a disconnected operation blog, and so they're actively working on that now. There was a lot of disruption based on in the United States based on the hurricane activity that's been taking place in the southeast. Florida most recently hit, and those where the concentration of many of our IFOS students work come from. So that's a bit of a risk, but we'll see if they can muster through that and get back on track. We'll know more later this week. Okay. All right, performance testing. Braulio, do you want to give the community an update?
Yes. So now that we have monitoring tools, PR managed, we are conducting several experiments using the tool and also a benchmark workload. So this past week I conducted a long duration experiment where I ran the experiment for 48 hours, where I was just creating and deleting a pod that slept for 20 seconds. We saw one issue with the startup agent that we have seen before. We were able to I was able to reproduce the issue, and now that we have a Periscope installed, I checked the profile data, and we saw that we have linear numbers of Go routine created by the startup agent cluster, and that seems to be related with the numbers of informers that we are creating per se. And Mike, I do believe that these two issues are related to each other per se, and I have also some of the profiling graphs on the folder that I just shared with you the link. And the second thing, I'm also building a setup to conduct an experiment to simulate a large number of walks, and I'm building the whole automation script just using Ansible playbooks, and then in the next call I'll be able to share some of those results. And that's all I'm not share, Andy. And yes, Mike has a question.
Yep, Mike.
Yeah, in the agenda for this item, there is a link to a Google Doc, but when I follow it, I get just something that says, sorry, the file you've requested does not exist.
That one, Mike?
Well, I don't see that. I follow the link from the agenda and it doesn't get me something.
Yeah, so I just mouse clicked on this one and open. Are you talking about the top one, which is on Google Drive, or the
that one?
Oh, the
yes.
top. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yep, I get the same. All right, so probably you can just update that.
I'm gonna check. Sure. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Information on changing the core Helm chart. So, Franco, is this something that you have information on? Are you on mute, Franco?
Yeah, I apologize. I was on mute. Yes, I don't remember if, what we updated last time we had the community meeting, but we changed the core chart to incorporate some of the other Helm chart that we had in our repo, specifically the KubeStellar controller and the transport controller. Now they are not separate entities, but they are incorporated in the core chart. We did do several simplifications on how the chart is built and maintained. We don't use the customizer anymore, and so we brought out some of the key image controls and stuff like that in the values of the new version of the core chart. As a consequence, now we can use the same core chart to deploy either a release version of the images or a local copy of the controller images, so that we a developer can fully test the new code that is developing. This includes the controller code, but also a local version of the Helm chart. And this has been implemented in the runtest.sh script. That script, when you run it as is, it will build the local version of the images that the developer is working on, and it will update the local version of the course chart consistently with it, and it will deploy in a local kind cluster to test your code from that point on. There is also an argument, a flag to do, which is called -- release, and that would allow one to test instead of the local code a release version of the core chart, particularly the last one that was released.
Okay, any questions for Franco? Thank you, Franco. Okay, I'm going to move the next line up to the top, but I just didn't want to overlook it for now. As we stated earlier a couple of times, release 0.25.0 is RC1 is released, but the full release is still under testing and some development work is still happening. So RC2 is expected in the future. I'll just put this up top. So for the next one, we can talk about it first. Okay. All right. Interns for open source. Right now, the team is working on a blog on disconnected operation. We're trying to tighten up the automated environment deployment, and we're working on a new KubeStellar UI for changing context or recording context for the KubeStellar core, and also for KS-specific resources in a read-only mode at this time. No intention to do any update, delete, or creation of resources yet. That may happen in the future. All right. Let's see, where are we? So for KubeCon EU, the CFP is currently open. Should please go to the CFP. I'd like to see people on this call and outside this call submit talks on behalf or to talk about KubeStellar. The CFP closes just, I believe this is after Thanksgiving in the US. So please be aware that we've got probably about 6 weeks or maybe a little less than that until this deadline passes. So I encourage you all to take full advantage of this. I've also been asked to either do reviews or be a program chair for one of the different programs that I think there's about 10 or 12 programs running through KubeCon EU, which will be in April. And I've submitted my application to be considered for that. So hopefully I get picked, nominated, etc., and then I can get a little bit of understanding of what the criteria that is used to promote and to successfully attain a talk at a KubeCon. So it'll be very interesting. I'd like to be more on the internal inside of how that operates. So we'll see if that happens. I've asked, explicitly asked Paolo, Braulio, and of course myself, I'm resubmit any talks that we had in North America, whether they were chosen or not, to EU. And hopefully we'll see if we get selected for some of those. Update on KubeCon North America. We were given a talk in the IBM booth, granted that time, 15 minutes. That'll take place on November 13th, which is the Wednesday, midweek, 8:30 p.m. to 8:45 p.m. Mountain Time. And that's probably during one of the, they have like these night sessions where everybody can walk around the booths and they give out beverages and snacks and all that other good stuff. So that should be good timing. Lots of people are in the mood to talk at that point. We got an accepted lightning talk. I'll be giving that. Project Pavilion is on November 14th from 1:45 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And there's a tech discussions table, which is available to us also. I did put the time. I'll have to put the time in here for this. I didn't do it yet, but anyway. All right. We've attempted 12 CFP submissions. We had 2 accepted, 1 waitlisted. The 1 waitlisted is now on last minute status. So if there is a last minute opening at the show, then we'll go ahead and put on the agenda that particular talk. It may not be a full panel, but I do. Corey will be there on site, one of the professors from administrators of the programs down in Valencia College, and I will be there. Jeff and Ashwari will probably not travel, if not accepted. So, but that'll be fine, I think. A change of the format based on a last-minute pick would be, I think, acceptable. Okay. No new news on the Cornell SDF program. It's still just moving along, so I think it's in good shape. The students are making good progress. Hopefully we'll have an update in about 2 weeks' time after they've made some more significant progress. All right. So let's put this in here, 25. Let's see, how would we characterize this? 25, RC1 released, RC2 expected, and in here, let's see, what do we got? We've got create only bit.
I think that merge is also new in 25.
Okay, very good. Create only bit, and we've got a downsync object. Okay, very good. All right. That's all I have for today. Anybody who would like to, thank you very much. Yep. Okay. Anybody who has anything else they'd like to add? Going once? Going twice? I'd like to actually ask a question of the folks that are assembled here. Does anybody have any ideas for additional talks that they would like to give or would like others to give on KubeStellar that they think would be interesting or important? Let me stop the sharing here so that...
Talks to give where? To what audience?
This would be at KubeCon EU.
Okay,
April
thank
1st.
you.
Okay, so I'd ask if any of you have any ideas that you submit them to our Slack channel or in this agenda for discussion. And even if you don't want to give the talk yourself, it's fine. We can find people that would be happy to give the talk on your behalf, or you can join somebody to give a group talk or a panel talk. So come up with some ideas potentially. Maybe there's some, Franco, I'm sure people might be interested in the underpinnings and the background information on how to make a Helm chart that's testable in the field. And Kevin, you might have some other things that you might want to consider too, based on your experiences with CI/CD, and that might be of interest to many because there is a general topic for discussion for CI/CD types of developments. So you might want to consider that.
How long are these talks?
I believe, Braulio, what are the lengths on your talks now?
35 minutes.
35?
Yeah.
35 is generally for an accepted talk. They also have lightning talks where they're only 5 minutes. So there's a bunch of different formats that can be used to get your message across.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, folks?
I just wanted to highlight that Braulio is turning up things that look like, to me, like evidence of bugs. So I think there is an interesting investigation to continue there.
Yeah, I saw Braulio and I had a discussion the other day, and he showed me, evidence of a leak. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns into a PR eventually.
I just had a tiny PR in draft that tries to handle that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for your time today. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you again in 2 weeks.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.